Hello everyone and welcome to my first YouTube video. I am currently doing a starter home actually for the Not So Berry challenge that we will be starting up again on YouTube. Some of you may have seen me play it a bit before on my Twitch, but obviously I never finished it because you guys know me, gameplay is not my thing. But I did fall in love with that gameplay challenge and I did want to revisit it. So here I am just getting the roof shape going. You will see that I actually struggle with the two bump out areas. I wanted to do something cool inspired by Kate Emerald, just a little glass roofing where your Sims can actually go into it and hang out there. I do end up removing it because it is more trouble than it's worth and it costs extra simoleons that we just do not have to spare. Another thing you will see throughout this video is I will be checking the price of the lot frequently to make sure that I stay under that 20K mark. But with this home, I really wanted it to look super futuristic and cool since our Sim is actually going to be a scientist for this challenge. But I also wanted it to fit in with the rest of the homes in Oasis Springs and give it that mid-century modern look. So one of the ways that I made the house feel more futuristic is by having those two roof pieces be opposite directions. And here you can see I am actually going to be building the stairs into the deck. I just thought that it was kind of a cool touch. That shape does end up changing because I needed the extra tiles and it also helped out with windows later on, but I thought it would just be kind of a cool touch. So here I am just struggling with roofing as per usual, can never make up my mind on what swatches I want to use or items I want to use. Let me know down below if you are as indecisive as I am. But I am working on that cool little bump out I was talking about. I do want to use that for another build sometime. It just didn't fit into this build. Off topic of the builds here, I did have a really fun series that I wanted to start on my YouTube, but I want to make sure that this is something that you guys are comfortable with or want to see. So I am an avid true crime lover. I watch documentaries, I listen to podcasts like Crime Junkies, but I had the funnest idea the other day. I could cover cases with you guys and then build something that relates to that case. So maybe I could build the suspect's like apartment or what I think it would look like, or maybe I could use actual reference photos from some of the crime scenes and try and recreate those. I'm not sure. I know it's quite a sensitive topic, but let me know down below what you think of that. I definitely struggled with this front door a little bit just because I was really trying to consider our budget here and work a bit around that. I ended up using this eco door at the front, but I did move it to the back and use a different eco door for the front door. So here I am just working on the floor plan. It's actually pretty simple, nice and open. Just the bedroom is just shoved into its own little area of the house, and then the bathroom has a small area for windows. I think I only added the one snowy escape one. And I'm using a lot of eco lifestyle in this build as well because it's very modern, but also like interesting to look at. So I thought it fit quite well. But let me know down below, are you excited for this gameplay series? Are you from Twitch and have you seen me play it before? Do you guys have any ideas for our matron's name as well? I need help. But here I am just trying to make this little bump out area work before I finally realize it's not gonna work. And here I am just adding those windows that I talked about before. I end up replacing these base game windows with the snowy escape one just because it was less simoleons, but I actually liked the look of the base game one a bit more. I thought it looked a bit more modern, so I wish I could have that. Maybe I can upgrade later on. But here I just struggle between, do I want shorter windows? Do I want the taller windows from Eco? And here I am just changing the size of the deck, as I said before. It does look a little cramped as it is right now. It doesn't stay that way because past Nina took a look at it and was like, girl, what is this? So it does end up changing, no worries there. But I went for a very neutral color scheme here with pops of mint. Even in the flowers, I tried to add some pops of mint here and there because I really wanted to go for the challenge rules, which is having your Sim and their house be mainly the one color. And you know that saying where it's like, oh, what's your favorite color? You can't say black because that's a shade. So I figure that neutrals are fair game, but other colors other than that would be a bit distracting for the mint. So I mainly stuck to those. I also love these wall decor pieces from Eco. I love using them on the exterior of my house actually and placing plants in them like I am here. What is it called? I don't know I don't remember what the word is for it, but there's a word for it. Basically, it just gives some support to vines that are growing on the side of your house. Let me know down below what the word is, because I'm sure I'm going to remember it later on and feel so silly. But anyways, as you can see, I added some mint colored vines on the wall there, as well as that little thingy above the door. It looked mint colored to me. I ended up adding these tiles from Batu to the porches because I actually really like Batu in terms of build. I think the tiles and the plants are everything. So if you're a builder, I say, honestly, give it a try. Oh, and here I am changing the porch and opening it up a bit because I realized it felt very cramped to me. And we're getting near the part where I decide, you know what, this is not worth it. This little bump out is not worth it. It's so cool looking, but no. Oh my gosh, this exterior wallpaper, it really had it out for me. I could not decide what I wanted. I knew I wanted mint somewhere. I just didn't know where. I didn't know if I wanted it to be the primary color of the exterior or if I just wanted it in accents in the plants. I think I ended up making it the primary color and then having the little bump out on the right be a neutral white, I believe. Probably bad that I don't actually remember. This is why I have goldfish brain. But the wallpaper is what made me realize that that bump out was not going to work. It was not going to work because I couldn't figure out, do I want 3 different wallpapers? That seems like a bit much for the exterior for me. It just sectioned it off a bit too much. So, and here's that indecisiveness I was talking about earlier. I literally could not figure out this wallpaper for the life of me. Although I love this build, I wish I would have used some stone on the exterior for some texture. Did I stick with this eco wallpaper? Here I am deleting that super cool but very intricate bump out. RIP bump out, you will definitely maybe be missed. And I struggled with this window placement so much because it kept looking like a face to me. Something about having 2 windows spaced out like this really just looks like your house has a face. And then just having the smaller windows up top was even worse, and I just couldn't decide. And then I had a eureka moment. She had a big brain moment. I realized if I put the 2 windows on the right side like this, it doesn't feel as much like a face. So I went ahead and did that, added a bit of ivy, and here is my first use of the tool mod, actually. I can go ahead and link that down below for you guys. But I love this mod. It really gives you more freedom with your builds in The Sims. So I just went ahead and grabbed this debug fence. It doesn't actually work like a fence. Your Sims will completely just walk through it. But it is for the aesthetics. So I went ahead and used the tool mod to make sure that they were at the same height. And then I just placed a little bit of fencing for the backyard just to give a bit of structure. I didn't completely close it off because I wanted this backyard to feel a bit more open. So I just added a couple of fence pieces and then added a bit more structure with some landscaping. Side note, the mod I'm using to organize the debug is Better Build by Twisted Mexi. And a lot of the landscaping at first that I used were from various packs. So you'll see here this hedge that I'm using is from Get Together. And then I realized there was no point in doing that. So I ended up making all of the landscaping that I used base game. And I think most of it, if not all of it, was actually debug. The reason I did this is because it saved us money, honestly. And I cannot go without landscaping. Landscaping truly makes your builds. There have been many builds that I've done that I have not felt super confident in until I added landscaping, and it's honestly one of my favorite parts of building. I am curious though, do you guys enjoy landscaping? Let me know. So here I am just adding a bit of structure with landscaping to the front of the house, and then I found those blue flowers, and that is what made me realize I don't need to use all of these plants from the various packs. I can just use base game. It obviously has good landscaping items. So I ended up filtering by base game and just adding plants that way. And as you can see here, those blue flowers were very popular with me today. I'm not sure why. I think it's because they seem kind of minty. So it just helps with the storyline, I guess, a bit. I figure that our mint sim would love mint flowers everywhere in their garden. And also, I don't know why, but they kind of look alien-like to me. That's probably just me, but I think it's the color of blue that it is. It's such like a bright, icy blue that I thought it just fit well with not only the color of our sim, but also the career and interests that our sim has. This fence looked a little lonely, so I added some landscaping onto that, and then we should be going into terrain paint soon. This big tree, it matched the trees everywhere else, and I just couldn't find a space for it, so I ended up just shoving it in the front yard. I'm still unsure about that decision, but it's too late. I also ended up turning my reshade off. If you guys want a link to the reshade, comment down below. I can go ahead and put it in the description or link it in the comments as well. But I like to turn my reshade off when I am adding terrain paint. And this is just because the reshade that I use, which is the Dove reshade by Kindle Spice on Tumblr, it adds a lot of shadows. And I love that. I think that's a personal taste thing, but I love all of the shadows it adds. However, when you are terrain painting, it can make it really difficult for you to know where to add terrain paint because it looks like it's already done. And this is mainly an issue when people want to download my builds, because if I miss a couple spots and I just don't notice it, obviously that doesn't look very nice. I just added a bit of a pathway here. Now we're adding some outdoor lights, and I think we move along into the interior soon, or not. Oh yeah, we add a mailbox and a trash can out here because those are two items that are very important to have in your houses. So I had to just pay the price for those. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of where I ended up placing the trash can, which is right next to the mailbox in the flower bed. I don't really think it makes sense, and I'm sure the flowers there would have actually been probably destroyed by the trash can being there. So not so smart of me. Okay, now we are moving on to into the interior. I wanted to do the bathroom first. If you guys are on my Twitch, you know that bathrooms are my least favorite room to build. So I like to get them done first while I still have motivation to do them. Because when I save bathrooms for the last room, I usually end up just not even finishing the build because I do not want to do the bathroom. But I struggled a little bit with the layout here. I couldn't decide if I wanted the sink under the window or if I wanted the toilet under the window, but I ended up just putting the toilet under there and the sink over in this area over here so that your sim has some nice lighting while they poop. Priorities, you know? But a common theme of this build that you will notice is minimal clutter. I don't use a lot of clutter in this build because we do not have the money for a lot of clutter in this build. And I felt like using debug, aside from the landscaping, because I will always have landscaping no matter what. But using debug for clutter, to me, it just felt a bit cheaty. So I tried not to do that. And let me tell you, it truly broke my heart. And I believe this build ended up being around 19,900 something simoleons. I'm pretty sure I only left your sims with like 20 simoleons, so I apologize about that. But I think the build ended up looking quite cute. It's very minimal. There's no clutter. I am telling you, there is none. But I think it's kind of like a modern minimalist, I guess. And I was able to add a lot of pops of mint here and there. So you can see the bathroom flooring that I use here is a pop of mint. And I tried to find a wallpaper. I was looking for a specific one. It ended up being by Eco. For some reason, I was convinced it was in Spa Day. It is the Eco wallpaper that has the little mint stripe at the bottom. You will see it here in a second. And this is a wallpaper that I absolutely adore. If I could have it in real life, I probably would. Maybe it's just the challenge that's gotten into me, but I love the color mint. There it is. That is when I came to the realization it was from Eco. And that's the bathroom all done. So now, I almost went into the bedroom, but kitchens are my favorite. So I decided I finished the bathroom. Let me reward myself by doing the kitchen. So I ended up doing the kitchen. At first, I was playing around with maybe using the Dream Home Decorator new counters in that mint swatch, but I realized it was a bit too much. I prefer the accents. So I went ahead and used the Jungle Adventure counters instead. They are such nice counters, and the fridge I had to go cheap on and just used a white one because once again, that mint one just felt a bit too vibrant. And I also liked that the brown handles of the fridge matched with the brown handles here. Here I am just adding an island here, so we save money actually on a dining table and dining chairs, and it saves us some space. But eventually I do want to go ahead and add a bit of a dining table, probably in the back patio. Also, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but this build is a tiny home. It is just under 100 tiles, so you should get a couple of perks there. I know you don't get all of them, but you get a couple, so that's always nice. I think it might still save money for you, I think. So that'll be a big deal when you're in the beginning stages of the game. I have been watching so much James Turner that I think I'm starting to sound like him. I almost went for that super modern metal looking trash can, but then I decided let's go for the Snowy Escape one. It's a bit more cozy and it's a lot less expensive. And this was something that I struggled with a lot because the door placement really made it hard for me to decide where I wanted to put a couch. I believe I even tried experimenting putting this little TV console area in front of the door area. And then I realized, no, that is terrible feng shui. So I ended up using the Eco Lifestyle couch in the mint color and creating a DIY L-shaped couch, I guess. If the new couch from the Dream Home Decorator came in a mint swatch, I most likely would have used that because I believe it's also cheaper than the Eco couch, but I do like the Eco couch nonetheless, so no complaints here. But like I said, in a second, you'll see how I made that DIY L-shaped couch here. Side note, if you want to follow my TikTok, I have more Sims tips. Here it is, the beautiful couch. Yep, there I am. And then I quickly realized, no, that's not gonna work out. I think that your Sims can still access those bar stools. I haven't play tested this build yet. I will play test it before I upload it onto the gallery and let you guys know, but I'm pretty sure it should still be functional. And then I just grabbed this coffee table because it was modern and super inexpensive. And here I am just going back and forth. I really wanted to use this Dream Home Decorator little TV consoles, so I ended up just cutting off that little triangle bit. It also made the space feel a bit more interesting in shape anyways, so I'm not mad about that decision that I made. And the TV is in a better spot so that everyone who is sitting on the couch can have a good view of it. I did end up adding one decor piece here. It was, of course, a plant. I love plants. I used this hanging one from Paranormal. I am still not over this plant. I'm sure that everyone else has already gotten over it by now since Paranormal released and you guys probably all used it to your heart's content, but I still love that plant, so I decided to add it in that little corner bit there, and it also helps play with the height of the room as well. I knew I wanted to add a speaker, I just wasn't sure where. I played around with the idea of adding it in the kitchen and almost saying it's like an Alexa or a Google, but it really felt awkward. I felt like your Sim would just, obviously it doesn't work like this in The Sims, right? But in real life, it felt like you would probably splash it with water and ruin it. And I think it's like 200 something simoleons in The Sims. That's money my Sim cannot afford to lose. So I added the tiny living bookcase and it had a perfect little nook for the speaker. So I popped it in there, and some of the books in that bookcase are mint colored, so that was kind of fun. Grabbing the matching desk and chair to that little coffee table that I added and just placing it in that little nook there. When I first made this floor plan, I initially thought that nook would be for a bookcase, and then I quickly realized that I cannot afford a 2-tile bookshelf right now. So I popped a desk in there and I actually like that floor plan a bit better. Here I am just moving along into the bedroom, picking out some wallpapers. Here is where the mint truly comes is in the wallpapers, and I love that Bowling Night wallpaper. It's actually my favorite brick in the entire game. Fun fact for you. And I didn't know it came in a mint color, so I was very happy about that. I think at this point we had 3,000 simoleons left, so this was really a bedroom on a budget, I might add. So this room is definitely empty, but let's go ahead and say I left it empty so you can add some of your Sims belongings. But I loved this Dream Home Decorator dresser here. It fit the space perfectly. I couldn't really pick a bed because I wanted the wood tones to all match, so I just went with this white one from Dream Home Decorator. It does feel a bit bland. I think I would have preferred to use that Vintage Glamour one looking back at it, but I know that I didn't have enough simoleons for it at the time, which is why I didn't use it. Here I am playing around with the idea of adding a plant in here, and I ended up using the Get to Work one because I love that plant. It's so skinny and it just fits everywhere. The mirror here, I'm really not happy about it. I use that tiny mirror. I wish that you could size mirrors up. Oh, I used the Dream Home Decorator mirror. For some reason, I thought I used the circle one. Okay, I still wish that you could size mirrors up in The Sims though, without them doing that weird little glitch thing, because that would be a really nice feature. I don't know why we can't yet. And I added the new Dream Home Decorator painting above the bed. That does end up going away because we ran out of simoleons, but I was able to keep the rug and some curtains in here and make it just feel a bit cozier. And I figured In the scientist career, you get a lot of pictures from using the microscope, so you could easily put one of those above your bed instead for free. So decided to do that. Just adding one more final touch, which is the corkboard, and that is all. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure to go ahead and click that thumbs up icon, turn your notifications on by clicking that little bell, and go ahead and subscribe as well to support me and the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, everybody.